Hello, Rob from Fountain Pen Journey with a review of the Faber-Castell Fresh fountain pen. Now this is new. This is new to the UK at least, and I happened to pick one of these pens up a couple of weeks ago from Cult Pens here in the UK. Saw it on the website, and at the price I thought, it's a new pen, it's an unusual design. If you saw my pen mail video recently, if you're a subscriber, you will have seen this pen in there, and quite honestly, with the unboxing of this fountain pen, I was a little bit shocked, if not apprehensive, about this fountain pen. Now, Faber-Castell 2020 has been a bit of a weird one for me, because I went on and bought the Faber-Castell Hexo fountain pen earlier this year, and quite honestly it was a massive disappointment, a huge disappointment. I will put a review down below in the description of this video, so expand that. We'll put the link to the Faber-Castell Hexo fountain pen in there, because it was and is quite possibly one of the worst writing pens I've spent that sort of money on. I mean, we're talking 40 quid for a fountain pen that just is not good. Really, really not good. I've had Lamy Safaris which have written badly, but they've been way better writers than the Hexo. The Hexo is just an inconsistent fountain pen, in my opinion. My experience, you know, it is what it is, and I review things how exactly I find them, so to give you guys, my viewers, my lovely viewers, the best chance of making up your own decision as to whether or not you're going to pull the trigger on them or not. So I was a little bit apprehensive when I bought this. Yeah, this Faber-Castell Fresh fountain pen. It's even cheaper. It's their cheapest fountain pen so far, and geez, it's ugly. Damn. This definitely fell out of the ugly tree and hit every single branch on the way down. You think the Lamy Safari is an ugly fountain pen, this is ugh. But it only costs £7.95 compared to the Lamy Safari, which is anything from about £15 to £20. Faber-Castell Fresh. What can I say? Well, it's available in other colours. This is the green version. Officially it's called light green, and it's a sort of, this is coming out as quite a vibrant, rather 80s looking snooker table green, like a grass, not a grass green, but it's not representing the colour perfectly on the camera right here, but it's a bit of a it's hard to describe. It looks like a very old-fashioned green. It's very similar to the Lamy Safari plain green version, in all honesty, just a little bit more browny yellow perhaps, but it's actually a colour that's grown on me. I've kind of got to like this pen. I'll do the full review in the writing sample shortly, but you know, I'm giving this pen a bit of a twirl for you, because damn, you is one ugly pen. I mean, the first impressions, they haven't changed. This is a contender for, you know, I thought the Lamy Safari was ugly. Faber-Castell obviously went, you know what, we're going to beat the Lamy Safari this year. We're going to beat the other German brand. We're going to go all out. We're going to go completely balls to the wall and design a clip which is even more hideous. We're going to design the pen out of plastic. It's going to have an ink window. It's going to have a weird roll stop. It's going to have a section that's not triangular, but it's quite possibly one of the longest sections on any fountain pen ever imagined. And we're going to do it for less than half the price of a Lamy Safari. That's what they did, and my God, they succeeded. Faber-Castell, I mean, Faber-Castell quite often they've got a very definitive design, distinct design style. It's not to my particular taste, most of their products. However, this, I mean, wow. I mean, even China haven't churned out things like this. This is an odd looking fountain pen. So let's talk about it. Right, first off, let's pop it down. There we go. I mean, it's cigar shaped. There is a bit of a towards the centre, and it is good that the band is in the centre there. It's quite nice that that's actually evened out. So they've got this black plastic band here in the centre, and then it sort of tapers down very, very subtly to either end. Up here on the top we have got black plastic insert, and then the clip is pushed in there, then the black plastic insert continues around here, and we've got this cut out here, and it's moulded into the cap. And to be honest, there's quite a lot of engineering going on in there. That is, it's not the easiest thing to achieve. I've just noticed that there is some writing in there, which I'm assuming is Faber-Castell, or it could say Fresh. I've got no way of seeing this over the camera. This lens is actually providing me with the best magnification. Anyway, there is some writing moulded in there. And this steel clip thing, from that angle, it's okay. Perhaps a little bit fat, a little bit wide for the cap. But what on earth? Why would you design a cap with these two folded down bits of metal that admittedly do match the can't even think of the engineering description, the roundness of the actual cap. So they do fit that, which is a bit like Lamy Safari. Your god awful clip does actually do the same sort of thing. Let's put these two pens side by side in a minute, but we'll carry on looking over the parts of this pen. So we've got this hideous clip thing going on here, which is ugly, and the clip is it's not very tight. It isn't very tight. It's reasonably springy, and I should imagine that these two things under here are going to put dents in whatever you happen to clip this onto. So there's the cap, which pops off, and there is no sort of banding. Now the plastic of this pen is actually really good quality. I don't believe it's the most robust plastic. It's not like the it doesn't feel as quality as the ABS plastic on the Lamy Safari, but this is still quality plastic. So that pops off like that. We've got this black band in the middle, and that is the ink window. And there we go, you can actually see. I wasn't aware that I'd used that much ink out of this pen already. Ink window, so two holes, and like the Lamy Safari, there's no glazing in these holes, so you can't eyedropper this pen, and this band is sort of, I don't know, glued in or something there. You can feel a bit, you can feel that a little bit where it meets the cap and where the black plastic meets the barrel. It's not noticeable, it's not sharp, it's not a step up or a step down or anything, but you can tell it's there. Faber-Castell printed in paint on the side, and tapers down towards the end of the barrel, and this weirdly matching. So they have actually thought about this design with this black plastic here on the clip. This black plastic moulds around there. I guess that's inserted into the end of the cap as well, so yet another reason why this will not make a good eyedropper, and there will be gaps everywhere. And it moulds down, and you've got this sort of nipple thing, which is the roll stop for the whole pen. as you can see, it's not perfect. Reason being is that there is a taper. So the point, and the actual centre of gravity is further back. However, it doesn't take a lot to overcome that and get this pen on the roll. So even though that this black plastic should itself act as a roll stop, they felt the need to put this additional bit of this blob of plastic, this hemisphere of plastic on there as well, moulded into the black plastic, and it still doesn't work. You know, it's just a shame, because it's obviously been part of the design, and it works on a level surface. It's fine on a level surface, but tilt that surface and the pen will just roll away, which also stops posting. You can't post it, so you know, you basically, yeah. You designed it, you put the effort in, you put the effort into thinking, you know what, maybe that roll stop's not going to be good enough, let's add a bit of black plastic to the black plastic, and it still doesn't work. Yeah, so not the best. The clip actually does quite a decent job. The clip really, you know, that's going to stop that pen from rolling. So won't even bother talking about capping it, posting it, because you can't. What have we got nib wise? Well, we've got a nib that comes in one size only, stainless steel, and I believe these to be medium nibs, and having had the experience of Faber-Castell nibs before, yes, this is definitely one of their mediums, so it's almost a medium to fine. For some reason, Faber-Castell nibs are always on the finer side, and I know a lot of people really like Faber-Castell nibs. We'll talk about the writing in a bit, because we haven't got there yet. It's an interesting one. And we've got this unwinged black plastic feed beneath. So tiny nib, tiny feed, and this huge section. Now, it's cylindrical. There are no indentations, so thankfully they actually thought, you know what, if we're going to design a pen that's similar to the Lamy Safari, we're not going to put a triangular section on there, because people don't always like it. I personally don't have an issue with it, but I know a lot of people do. So what they did do is provide a cutout, and this rubberized, it is a rubberized sleeve on there, which actually is, if you like, ribbed, if you like. There you go. And yeah, it is definitely non-slip, and it's a nice diameter. It's a good diameter. There isn't much of a taper going on there, but this is a wider section up here than down here, marginally. I'm talking fractions of a millimetre, maybe, something like that. But you've got a great length with which to hold this pen. Really, really good length. And there is a step up there, but quite honestly, if you're holding this pen all the way up there, you know, underneath the fingers, that's not really too bad. This pen, if you like being able to adjust your grip on your pen and having a really long section, this is actually a really good option. And you've got a lot of this section with the rubberized grip, so even here, half on the grip, you've still got the grip. Further up, away from it, you know, it's black plastic, but it's not slippery. You've got a good length, and the pen, even holding it just below the step where it meets the barrel, you've still got a decent length. This is a good sized pen. So, you know, you're not going to be complaining about it. Now, this black plastic bit actually inserts into the section. So this is glued into there, and then we have the thread for the barrel beyond that. So we've got a black plastic barrel here, a black plastic barrel, green plastic barrel, and this what looks like a very short standard international ink cartridge. This is a short standard international ink cartridge, but you can see how deeply this goes into the pen, bearing in mind that's the ink window, so the end of the cartridge is down here. So you've got a really good indicator of how much ink you've got left if you're able to see through there. This pen will take long standard international ink cartridges. I'm sure a converter, standard international converter, will fit in there because there is quite a lot of space overall there, and you could also fit probably another short standard international ink cartridge in the back of the barrel. So there we have it. Now what I want to do now is compare this with the Lamy Safari Special Edition 2020 Mango Edition Lamy Safari fountain pen, because these two are of a very similar length. I am going to do an overall length because this Faber-Castell Fresh does have an extra couple of millimeters with the black plastic inserts at either end, but as you can see, very similar in length. If I move that slightly back, the Faber-Castell Fresh is 3 millimeters, 2 to 3 millimeters longer than the Lamy Safari capped. Uncapped, notice the difference in nibs here. I mean, the Lamy Safari nib is a lot larger than the Faber-Castell nib, and overall they are of a very, very similar length. The Faber-Castell, once again, maybe has a couple of millimeters advantage, and of course you can't post it, so that little test goes out of the window. So if you watch my Faber-Castell Hexo fountain pen review, you will be aware of the fact that I was really, really dissatisfied, or at least very underwhelmed by the writing experience of that Faber-Castell Hexo. What do I think of this pen? Well, let's get straight into the writing sample now on my Rhodia pad. And I'm going to call this a medium nib. Only comes with one size of nib, so there's no options like the Lamy Safari, so far anyway. So the Faber-Castell Fresh, as I said, it's available in this green colour, also a red version, which is quite a nice dark reddish colour. It's not bright in your face red. There's a black version that I should imagine probably looks quite decent. There's a blue version as well. So different colour options, but nothing outrageous. So let's do the writing sample. Well, it's good. It's really good. In fact, I'd go as far to say, as for a pen that comes straight out of the box, this nib is actually in some ways a little bit nicer to write with than many of the Lamy Safari nibs, and it's decent, and it's quite wet. The ink is just a generic blue cartridge that came with this fountain pen. I thought, you know what, I'm not going to mess around with this pen too much. I'm just going to write with it as it comes, and it did come with this blue excuse my dog coughing his guts up in the background, did come with this blue cartridge, and it's a medium nib, which is bordering towards fine, but it lays down ink without any issues. I'd say it's medium wetness, dependent on the ink. I don't know what the ink is. Reverse writing, and that is definitely fine to extra fine. Yeah, extra fine, fine. I'm going to go more with fine. And it's smooth, and it's not scratchy, and it keeps up. It does what you want it to do. So you can write with this pen in reversed, if you like, the nib, the other way around. What do I think of it? I mean, back to normal. There is feedback. I'm talking platinum type feedback. So if you like platinum fountain pens and the feedback that they give you, yeah, that's what you can expect. And it's a smooth, ooh, I can't even write smooth nib, and it's good quality. I'm actually really impressed with this. I would go as far to say, as for writing, this is actually as good as the Platinum Prefounte that I've reviewed, and I'll put a link down to that pen as well, because they are very similar in price points. I think the Platinum Prefounte is perhaps a little bit of a more attractive pen. This is like an ugly version of the Lamy Safari, and I shall wrap up this review now before I bang on too much. I'll put links down below to those, and thank you very much for watching. Hope you found it useful. I'll see you next time. Bye.